The Writings on the Wall was Destiny's Child's second studio album, released in 1999, and it catapulted them to mainstream success. The album included hit singles like Bills, 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 and Say My Name, which topped the charts and garnered widespread attention for its subject matter. The era also saw several controversies and scandals that resulted in media attention and scrutiny, which resulted in not one but two lineup changes. The international group Destiny's Child were comprised of Beyonce Knowles, Kelly Rowland, LaToya Luckett, and Latavia Robertson. Having released their debut album in 1998 by Columbia Records, the group rose to fame near the end of the decade as an R&B quartet and were an evolution of female groups in the 90s such as SWV, TLC, and En Vogue. Their debut album marked the group's entry into the music industry. While it did not make them superstars immediately, it laid the foundation for their future success and allowed the group to showcase their vocal talents and harmonies that Destiny's Child would become known for in subsequent releases. The early years saw the group have a significant impact both in America and internationally with their debut. The album reached number 67 on the Billboard 200 chart and would go on to be certified platinum in the US and Canada and gold in the UK. The lead single, No No No, became a significant hit, reaching number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. This success also helped the album gain recognition. Internationally, No 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 reached the top of the charts in multiple countries, including the United Kingdom, Canada, and New Zealand. In 1998, the group would go on to release Get on the Bus, which featured rapper and producer Timbaland. The song was for the movie soundtrack Why Do Fools Fall in Love and was written and produced by Timbaland and Missy Elliott with vocals by all 4 members. Singer Aaliyah also choreographed the dance routines for the video. Get on the Bus was a moderate commercial success throughout Europe, reaching the top 20 in the Netherlands and the UK. In the United States, it received minor airplay on adult contemporary radio stations. Around this time, the group started working on their sophomore album. In 2006, in an interview with The Guardian newspaper, Beyonce stated that the group felt their debut album was more neo-soul and was too mature for them as they were 15 when they recorded the album. With this in mind, when conceiving ideas for their follow-up album, the group sat together and listed what they liked and disliked about the debut in order to improve. The group decided that they wanted to take a bit more creative control of the direction of the album. Beyonce co-wrote 11 of the 16 tracks, Kelly co-wrote 10, LaToya 9, and Latavia 8. The group would actively write and rewrite lyrics to ensure they were perfect and fit the cadence and tone of the concept for the album. Conceptually, the album has each track representing a 10 Commandments-inspired commandment of relationships. Its themes include infatuation, dependency, infidelity, and separation, while a loose religious theme is woven throughout the album. Musically, The Writings on the Wall is an R&B, pop, hip-hop, and soul record incorporating unconventional sonic elements, complex arrangements, and layered staccato rap-singing vocals. A number of writers and producers were also brought in to support and give the album a more contemporary sound for the late 90s. This included Beyonce herself alongside Darkchild, the Trackmasters, Candy Burruss, Missy Elliott, Latrell Simmons, Kevin Briggs, Chris Stokes, and Jody Watley.
The intro, yeah. Well, actually, the intro is, we took it from The Godfather, and also the movie Set It Off. 4 girls reenacted it. So we kind of reenacted it from Set It Off and from The Godfather.
Okay.
And basically, we summarized, we explained why the album called Writings on the Wall. So if you listen to the intro, then you'll basically get an idea of why we named it and how the commandments tie into the Writings on the Wall. So we basically got that from The Godfather.
Each of the 14 commandments of the relationship can be heard in between each song as the album plays with a different commandment being spoken by each member of the group. Kelly mentions in a Jet interview in May 2000 that the group couldn't decide between 2 different album titles they had in mind and spoke with Wyclef from the Fugees, who featured on the remix of their debut single to get his opinion. Wyclef instantly selected the writings on the wall and went on to tell the biblical story of Moses, finding the 10 Commandments and the symbology surrounding this. The album spawned 4 singles, with the first, Bills Bills Bills, being released in May 1999. Bills 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 is one of Destiny's Child's iconic and breakthrough singles. The choice to release it as the lead single from their second album took the group in a different direction. Moving away from their more soulful debut, the single reintroduced the Ladies as a female group ready for the millennium, full of fierce independence. The song was a significant hit and played a pivotal role in establishing the group as a force in the music industry. Released in May 1999, the song quickly gained widespread attention due to its subject matter. The song's lyrics revolve around a partner who is not financially responsible and is more focused on their own needs and desires. The central theme of the song is about the frustration of a woman who feels that her partner is not contributing equally to the relationship and that she is tired of paying all the bills. The track is often noted for its theme of female empowerment and financial independence. It conveys a message of self-worth and the importance of being in an equitable partnership. The song's lyrics resonated with many listeners, especially women, and contributed to Destiny's Child's image as advocates for empowerment and self-confidence. The choice to release a song that empowered women was becoming more popular at the dawn of the millennium, with other groups like TLC and the Spice Girls leading the charge. The song was written by Kevin Briggs, Candy Burruss, as well as all 4 members of Destiny's Child, highlighting their creative involvement. Production was handled by Kevin Briggs, who worked on several tracks on the album. The music video for the song was also an important visual component that accompanied the song's release. It was directed by Darren Grant and played a key role in the song's promotion. The video is set in an urban city environment, with scenes taking place in a beauty salon and an apartment, both typical locations for videos from the late 90s. The beauty salon was said to be a reference to Tina Knowles, who also owned a beauty salon at the time. The video features the group in stylish, coordinated outfits, reflecting their signature fashion sense at the time. The group also become more creative with their videos, adding a choreographed dance sequence. Commercially, the track did very well for the group, debuting at number 84 on the Billboard chart and climbed to number 1 5 weeks later. It was the group's first song to peak at number 1 on the Billboard chart and was the 9th best-selling single of 1999 in the United States. The track, and in particularly its subject matter, received some attention and discussion regarding its themes of financial independence and frustration with partners who do not contribute equally. Some individuals perceived elements of the song as critical of men, or suggesting that men are solely responsible for financial support in relationships. However, it's essential to note that the song was primarily about self-worth and the importance of equitable partnerships. It conveyed a message of empowerment and independence rather than solely focusing on male bashing. The lyrics emphasize the idea that in a healthy relationship, both partners should contribute and share responsibilities. The song's success and popularity were not significantly overshadowed by criticism related to its themes. The song resonated with many listeners, especially women, and was celebrated for its empowerment message. The song's strong chart performance and the positive response it received from fans and critics contributed to the group's growing reputation as advocates for self-confidence and independence. While there may have been some differing opinions on the song's message, it ultimately played a pivotal role in establishing Destiny's Child as a prominent girl group and promoting discussions about financial equality and independence in relationships. Around this time, there was another group who were emerging to speak up for the thoughts from men. Sporty Thieves, who became popular for their song No Pigeons, which was a response to TLC's No Scrubs, also responded to Destiny's Child with their track called No Bills. The Sporty Thieves would also be featured on the Trackmasters remix of Bills 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 alongside rapper Jazz. A week before the album dropped, the group released their follow-up single called Bugaboo. The song's catchy melody and playful lyrics instantly made it a fan favourite. Remaining with the same songwriting and production team from Bills, 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 the track was a light-hearted approach to addressing issues of unwanted attention that young women go through. This message once again resonated with listeners and showcased the group's ability to tackle a variety of themes in their music. The song was one of the first that was written and recorded for the album. However, initial response to the demo from the group was not positive. According to Candy, the group were unsure how they would sing over the beat, as they felt it was more suited to rap. After a few minor changes to the instrumental, the girls laid their vocals and were overall happy with the song. The video mirrors the song's theme of unwanted attention from overly persistent admirers or bugaboos. The four members are depicted as confident and self-assured women who humorously encounter various scenarios where they are pursued by persistent men. It included comical moments and exaggerated portrayals of bugaboos. The video's visual representation of the song's themes helped amplify its message and made it more relatable to viewers. Commercially, the song did not chart as well as Bills, 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 peaking at number 33 on the Hot 100 chart. The song was considered a disappointment, and interestingly is only one of 3 Destiny's Child singles released to not enter the top 10. The refugee camp remix version of the song refers to its commercial failure, with the opening lyrics saying the group was doing it right the second time. The album would go on to be released just 1 week after Bugaboo to a generally positive reception, debuting at number 6 on the Billboard chart and selling 133,000 copies in the first week. Some critics began picking the album apart, but many also praising the direction that group had gone in following their debut. Some critics had issues with the songwriting, subject matter, and lack of memorable songs, whilst others praised the vocal performance of the group and production to sonically push R&B forward compared to their contemporaries. It was at this point, though, that trouble started for the group. The era of promotion for the writings on the wall was marred by intense controversy and internal conflicts between the members of the group and their management. This turbulent period began in the fall of 1999, when LaToya Luckett and Latavia Robertson initiated a move to part ways with their manager, Matthew Knowles. They claimed that Knowles unfairly retained a significant portion of the group's earnings and showed preferential treatment to his daughter, Beyonce, and Kelly Rowland. Although Luckett and Robertson had no intention of leaving the group, their fate took an unexpected turn. This twist in Destiny's Child's story became apparent when the music video for Say My Name premiered. In an announcement made by Beyonce on TRL before the video's premiere, it was revealed that Luckett and Robertson were no longer part of the group. Following their departure, Destiny's Child underwent a transformation as they welcomed 2 new members into the fold. Michelle Williams, who had previously served as a backup singer for Monica, and Farrah Franklin, an aspiring singer-actress, stepped in to replace Luckett and Robertson.
Although there is a pending lawsuit, the show must go on with the new girls. Farrah, who first appeared as an extra in the Bills video, and Michelle, who was touring with Monica when she met the group. The new members seem to have no trouble picking up where the old girls left off.
Everything has just been gelling together.
It's also taken a lot out of them to teach us what they've been doing for 10 years in a month.
You can't even tell that they're new. They're just as good. You can't tell.
My opinion is they should have kept the original group.
When they got the new girls, I was like, whoa, they fit in.
This lineup change marked a significant moment in the group's history, one that would ultimately shape their trajectory and impact on the music industry. As mentioned, one of the primary reasons for Luckett and Robertson's departure was conflict with the group's management, which included Beyonce's father, Matthew Knowles. Robertson and Luckett, along with their parents, felt that the management team favoured Beyonce and Kelly in terms of financial compensation and decision-making within the group. There were also reported to be creative differences within the group, with Robertson and Luckett feeling that they had less say in the group's artistic direction and the production of their music. They believed that their contributions to the group were not being adequately acknowledged or valued. The contracts that the members of Destiny's Child had signed were another source of contention. Robertson and Luckett, along with their families, believed that the contracts were unfair and that they were not receiving their fair share of the group's earnings. In response to these issues, both Robertson and Luckett, along with their parents, filed a lawsuit against Destiny's Child's management. They sought to have their contracts voided and claimed that they were unfairly dismissed from the group. The legal dispute was eventually settled out of court, and the terms of the settlement included financial compensation for Robertson and Luckett. As part of the settlement, they also agreed not to make negative public statements about the group or management.
Apparently, because two former members, their voices were on the studio track, but of course they weren't in the clip. That was your first time in a clip with Destiny's Child. Apparently it's a big shock for the two ex-members. How come it was impossible to communicate with them saying, you know, you made a mistake?
They knew. They knew. We had a conversation with them. We had sent them letters. We talked to them ourselves. They knew very much so. And as far as the studio, Bugaboo they didn't sing on at all. They were in the video. Actually on 9 of the songs on the album they did not sing on. So it was no different. Kelly and I were the only ones that sang in the studio, not by choice. But so it was no different. And the amount that they sang on Say My Name was so small, if it was taken off you would not know the difference between the one song and the other one.
Right.
The release of the video for Say My Name, which was the group's third single, caused some confusion for fans of the group, particularly those outside of the United States, who did not see the press release containing the lineup change. Unlike the world of today, there was no social media to get a global message out to fan bases, so word of mouth had to carry this news, which took some time. Ironically, despite the aforementioned controversy, Say My Name was the most successful of the 4 singles from The Writings on the Wall, becoming Destiny's Child's second #1 single on the Hot 100 and reaching the top 10 in other territories, including Australia, Canada, and the UK. Critically acclaimed, the song won 2 Grammy Awards at the 2001 ceremony for Best R&B Performance and Best R&B Song, while also being nominated for Record of the Year and Song of the Year. Say My Name was the group's first collaboration with producer-songwriter Rodney Jerkins, also known as Darkchild, who was one out of several people hired to work with Destiny's Child on their second album. Speaking of the track's origins in 2020, Rodney stated that the original version of Say My Name was very different. In the late 90s, when Darkchild was working with the Spice Girls on their third album Forever, he recalls the Spice Girls taking him to a club where a DJ was playing UK Garage, a style of music that was popular in the UK in the late 90s and early 2000s. Rodney remembers being really inspired by the up-tempo and high-energy beats and wanted to try and recreate something similar. Rodney attempted to do this when creating the beat for the original version of Say My Name, but the reception from the group and Destiny's Child's management was not at all positive. Rodney attempted to convince everyone that the sound he had created was going to be as big in the States as it was the UK. However, he was unable to convince the group to keep the song, and on reflection after listening to the demo, a number of times agreed with the criticism he received. Rodney would go back and redo the beat, which resulted in the version that was released. You can hear how Rodney was influenced by UK Garage on some of his production for singer Brandy's Full Moon album, such as tracks like All In Me, which has a garage-inspired verse. Say My Name is one of Destiny's Child's most easily recognisable, iconic and successful singles, even today being sampled or referenced by other artists including Drake, Fabio Foreign and Summer Walker. The track is known for its tight vocal harmonies and the powerful vocal delivery of Destiny's Child members, showcasing their exceptional singing abilities. The song's lyrics revolve around a woman who is suspicious of her partner's fidelity. She demands that he say her name and provide reassurance. The central theme of the song is one of insecurity, doubt, and the need for transparency in a relationship. This continued with the theme set by the previous 2 singles of how young women would navigate struggles in their relationships with men. While the song addresses themes of doubt and insecurity, it also conveys a sense of empowerment and self-assertiveness. The woman in the song demands honesty and respect in her relationship. The visual aspect would also help promotion of the song with bright colours and stylized outfits from the late 90s. All 4 members would also have their own set, making the video stand out from anything that group had released prior. Jumpin' Jumpin' was the 4th and final single from the album released in July 2000 and was the final single released by Destiny's Child as a quartet. The song was co-written and co-produced by group member Beyonce, along with Chad Elliott, with additional writing from Rufus Moore. The single, which was known as their club song and peaked at number 3 on the Hot 100 in August 2000, becoming the group's 4th top 10 hit. Though the song did not reach number 1 on the Hot 100, it spent 16 weeks within the top 10, longer than both previous number 1 hits Bills, Bills, Bills and Say My Name. The song also charted well in the UK, Australia and the Netherlands. Chad Elliott was actually invited by the group's management to submit tracks for their debut album, however was unable to submit in time. He took no time in sending tracks over for their sophomore album. One of the tracks was sent in error, which was intended for Chad's own solo project, which was a partial instrumental for Jumpin' Jumpin'. Not realizing that this was not intended for the group, Beyonce instantly took a liking to the track and began writing. Elliott, who was impressed with the melodic, syncopated rap delivery Beyonce had written, agreed for the track to go to the group. Elliott would also go on to produce the album track titled If You Leave, which featured the group next. Joseph Kahn, who previously worked with the group on the video for Say My Name, was brought back for Jumpin' Jumpin'. Being a club-style song, the video certainly reflected that along with the song's message. Stepping away from the group's theme of female empowerment anthems, they opted for a fun, flirty delivery with both men and women being able to enjoy the club scene for a night. While the song primarily focuses on the fun and excitement of a night out, it also conveys an underlying message of empowerment and self-confidence. The lyrics reflect a sense of freedom and celebration. Throughout the video, the camera moves in a shaky manner, like if it was jumping, adding that element of drama and excitement. In addition to the original version of the song, a So-So Def remix was also recorded and filmed, which included Dabrat and JD. The Azaz remix contains newly recorded vocals. This version is the only song from the Writings on the Wall that feature vocals by Farrah Franklin and Michelle Williams. 5 months after her introduction to the group, Franklin parted ways with Destiny's Child. The members who remained in the group attributed her departure to missed promotional appearances and concert commitments. Michelle suggested that Franklin struggled to cope with the stress and demands of the group's schedule. In contrast, Franklin later revealed that she left due to the negative atmosphere surrounding the conflicts within the group and her inability to have a say in the decision-making process. Unlike previous lineup changes, her departure was considered less controversial. The departures of LaToya Luckett, Latavia Robertson and Farrah Franklin from Destiny's Child had a significant impact on both the remaining members and the trajectory of the group. LaToya and Latavia's exit in 2000, at a crucial juncture in the group's early career, led to the introduction of Michelle Williams and solidified the trio lineup with Beyonce Knowles and Kelly Rowland. This change, while marked by controversy, paved the way for Destiny's Child to thrive as a trio and reach new heights in the music industry. These lineup changes ultimately reshaped the group's sound and image, cementing their status as one of the most successful girl groups in music history and charting a path for their future achievements. The changes also generated discussions about the group's stability and the challenges of being part of a successful girl group. The press and public closely followed the lineup changes within Destiny's Child, and these changes were the subject of media reports, interviews, and discussions. Over time, the group's resilience and success as a trio helped solidify their status as one of the most successful girl groups in music history, and they continued to thrive despite these early challenges. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments below your favourite song from the album and which lineup was your favourite. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos.